Hi, everybody. Before we get to another great interview, the Two Opinionated podcast could really use your help. And it's easy, it's free. IMDb, which is the entertainment database, imdb.com, named us a top 100 podcast. We came in at number 82. That's a big deal because there's 15 million podcasts and growing. So to be named to anybody's top 100 list, pretty big deal for us. And the way you can help is to go to imdb.com, look up the Two Opinionated podcast, and that's it. Just bringing our page up. That traffic really helps us out. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. All we ask is that you subscribe. It's also free, but that really helps us to attract these amazing guests that we keep bringing on the program. And that's it. Two easy ways for you to support us, and we would really appreciate the help. Now let's get to that interview. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Two Opinionated. I'm so excited today. I've got dancer Travis Lim with me. So welcome, Travis.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. If we were really smart with this interview, I'd have come out to LA and we'd have done it in person, and it would just have been you trying to teach me some dance moves. It would have been a disaster, but
We'll
a hilarious disaster.
Volume 2, definitely.
Volume 2, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm like if you asked me to dance, the best I could give you would be like what I called the middle school sway. So when you're in school and you're kind of couples dancing and you just kind of
hand behind the waist. Well, we can do some slow dancing for sure. I love that. Well,
you're a little more advanced than that. So
I have spent a long time doing this, but you know what? Podcasting is something that's new to me. This is my very first podcast ever, so
I'm honored.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. When I started podcasting, that was my very first podcast. I'd never paid any attention to it. My son wanted to do it. I just wanted to spend time with him, so I was like, okay, I'll do it. And then I got on here and I was like, hey, I kind of like this.
Yeah.
That was 850 episodes ago.
Really? 850? Wow.
Yeah. Now I'm so happy that you're here, Travis. So let's start this way. Tell me a little bit about what got you into dance. Have you always been a dancer? Did you start at a young age? How did that come about?
I started at a very young age. So I started at 6.5. And actually, I don't think I've told this story many times, but I'll tell it now because we have some time and we're on a podcast.
Yeah.
When I was very, very young, so my parents are immigrants, so I grew up in a bilingual household. And my parents used to always watch this Asian news channel. And I was watching, there was an Asian guy dancing on screen, and he was incredible. And I couldn't really understand the Chinese because at that point I already started school, but I just heard something, 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 Michael Jackson. I was like, wow. I was like, this is incredible. This is Michael Jackson, the famous dancer I've heard about. So I kept on telling people that Michael Jackson was this incredible dancer and that he was Asian as well. I had no idea that he was in fact not Asian, and then my parents corrected me. And
well, you had the dancing right. He was an incredible dancer.
He was an incredible dancer, but it was a guy doing an impression of Michael Jackson that I was watching. So I went down this whole rabbit hole. I was only 6 years old, but we had a home computer, and I started watching Michael Jackson video after video and trying to imitate what he was doing. And after that, my parents are like, you know what? He has a real passion for dance. And I was doing so many things at the time, but when I found dance and I went to my local hip hop studio, that's when it clicked for me, and I kind of slowly faded out of everything else I was doing, basketball, swimming, and whatnot. So yeah, a funny mistake, but
that's pretty good. I mean, can you still bust out like the Thriller dance?
Oh yeah, you know what? That's so funny because my first 3 years I was dancing, I had like a dedicated Michael Jackson routine. And like I had the full thing. I had like the hair, the fake afro hair, and the jacket with the sleeve. Yeah, I had the whole 9 yards.
So was it like a montage of songs, or was it just one song?
It changed throughout the different years. The first time I did it, it was just like one song, one set, and then later on I would just take some of his movements and try to tell different stories with it. So I did one routine that was inspired by his movement, but was a tribute to my grandfather.
I love
And
that.
I did like this whole, I was only like 9 at the time, but I did this whole character study because my grandpa had just passed, and I learned all of his mannerisms and his characteristics, and I built a routine around this chair that I used to carry with him everywhere. So yeah, it evolved later into
I
into
love
many.
that. What a nice kind of way to honor your grandfather. That was really nice. My oldest, my daughter, she was a dancer growing up. She went all the way through high school. So when she went to college, she kind of gave it up, and now her daughter is dancing. She's 4, but she's involved in dance. But when she did her senior recital, her mother's dad, so her grandfather had passed, and she did the same thing. She dedicated her
Oh,
dance to him, and I still get choked up about it because I've still got the recording, and even just seeing a picture from that routine, it still gets me
yeah,
emotional. I'm
I
sure it
got
was the
goosebumps
same for
thinking
you.
about experiences like that. You know, I think it's a beautiful thing that art is able to capture those emotions like that. And for me, it was at such a young age having to process that. It was definitely an outlet for me. And it was a really great time just spending that year doing a whole character study and getting closer to my grandfather, even though he had passed already. And yeah, it was most definitely a wonderful experience, but also a way for me to really accept those emotions and whatnot. So.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's really cool. So did once you joined a hip hop studio, did you start doing competitions, or did you just learn different movements?
Yeah, it was competition right away.
Yeah.
I think my mom is definitely one of those like very eager like dance moms. So she was
Yep.
like, yeah, we're gonna put you into competitions, and I did very well like from the very beginning. And as I kept on going, I just got more passionate and more passionate about it. I'm very hyper competitive, like whether I'm in the studio or I'm on stage. With anything that I do, I'm very competitive. So I think I really enjoyed that aspect, and I fell in love with it over time.
So you had kind of an interesting journey, I think, with Canadians Got Talent. So
Yes.
so you had kind of tried for a while with that, and then kind of went away from it, and then came back and actually had some success. But talk about that entire journey.
Yeah, that's a decade long journey.
Yeah,
Like I said, my mom and I like we're both very passionate. When we put our mind to something, like
yeah,
we really go for it. So that first time, Canada announced that that show would be coming, that brand would be coming to Canada in 2012. And at
yeah,
that point, I was like, I've been watching America's Got Talent for so long. I've been watching Britain's Got Talent, and I've been inspired by all these people. I want to do this exact same thing. I think I was only let's see, 2012. I was only 11 at the time, and my
yeah.
mom was like, "Okay, let's go do it." So we flew out to Winnipeg, Toronto, Calgary, like all the different provinces in Canada to try to go to the audition. And I remember those long days in my Michael Jackson outfit, in my whole sequence outfit, and like waiting in the sun for like 12 hours and getting to that audition. And at the end, the producer's like, you know that you don't have to go to every single location. Once we've seen you once, that's enough. And this was like my 4th location already. Okay, cancel the flights. Let's go home. Let's go to the Bahamas. Like let's take a break. But unfortunately, I didn't get chosen. But you know, I persisted on. Even though
Yeah.
I took that loss or I got that rejection, I just kept on loving dance
I
and
mean, did
doing.
they give you any feedback of stuff to work on, or was it just like no, no thanks?
You know, usually with those shows, it's like, oh, we love you so much, like we'll contact you if we want you further, and then
Yeah.
they don't. They
Yeah.
usually get cut at those,
Well, there's
those.
so much competition.
Yes, yeah, there definitely is. But it was a great learning experience for me, and I just kept on dancing and I kept on chasing my passion. And 10 years later, the show announced, "Hey, we're coming back to Canada. We're rerunning that season." And at this point, I was set to go to UCLA. I was like literally like moving to LA, and they're like, "We're gonna do Canada's Got Talent," and I was like, "This is an opportunity I cannot miss." Like I needed to take that opportunity to avenge myself. And yeah, things turned out great. This time I was leading my team Groovement from the studio that I started out
Yeah.
with, and I was dancing with some of my childhood friends, and I got the opportunity to also help out with choreography and do all these amazing things. And we went onto the show. rehearsals on Zoom. And after all of that exhaustion, after everything, we ended up getting the golden buzzer and making it all the way to the finals, which was such a moment for me, because that long 10-year journey of like facing the rejection and having to continue on was definitely a story arc for me. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing to watch. I watched the moment there where
Thank
you
you.
got the buzzer, and just the excitement, relief, everything.
Uh,
It's like the emotions hitting the whole group at one time. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah, we all burst out into tears like simultaneously with big group hug. But yeah, definitely the exhaustion of that day. Like when you go on shows like that, people don't know this, but you get like 15 seconds of screen time sometimes, and you're on set for 12 to 14 hours doing
Yeah.
interviews, rehearsing, doing all those things. So yeah, definitely it was at the end of the night. I think our performance was like 12:30, maybe 1 a.m. And it was a
Yeah,
long day.
that's tough
But
to wait around all day and then have to perform in the middle of the
yeah,
night. Yeah.
yeah.
That's impressive. That's pretty awesome. And to do it with like friends, that's
Yeah.
pretty great.
My childhood friends, some of which I've been dancing since I started at 6, which was pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty. I love that story because you could have just given up when you didn't make it as a kid, but you came back. You like held everything up. You're like, no, no, no. That I gotta check that box. So you
Yeah,
back in it.
definitely.
I
I
love
know
it.
I know you're a comic book person, so am I. I love superheroes. So it was like, 5 years after the snap, I was like, you know what? We're gonna go for round two. Let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah. See, now I know you've been watching a little bit of the show because I'm a comic book guy. So
Oh yeah.
yeah.
It's pretty easy to tell from the background. I see you got Batman, the
I was
Hulk,
gonna say I might give it away
yeah, yeah.
a little bit. Yeah, that's pretty good. Do you have a favorite Marvel movie?
Favorite Marvel movie? Let's see. Oh my God, there's so many good ones. I mean, Endgame. That was like watching that at the premiere. It was like a concert.
Yeah.
People were like standing up and jumping out like that. I've watched that series, or that entire, like, I think it's like 27 movies. I've watched it like 3 times. Made my girlfriend watch the entire like MCU timeline, and we got through it.
Yeah, I'm
We
glad you brought that
got
up about seeing
through
it
it.
in the theater because it was like that. There was so much excitement and it was packed.
Yeah, and the
You know.
anticipation, like having to wait that long for the conclusion. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you go see Deadpool?
I haven't yet. I've been so busy and caught up doing life things and moving, but that I haven't. But I've heard that there are so many amazing cameos.
Yeah, the cameos kind of make it.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
worth it. Yeah. Yeah, there was
Um,
a couple of moments. I won't give
yeah,
it away, but there was a couple moments where I was like, "Ooh."
really? Okay, I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah, yeah,
Really.
that's pretty that one's pretty good. That's pretty good. Did I see that you had an opportunity to do your own TV show for a little while?
It did, yes. That was when I was 15, and this show was called Hip Hop with Travis Lim. So, yeah, it was.
I mean, as a 15-year-old, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was a very surreal experience. I actually don't even know how I came onto it, but ShawTV, a network in Canada, was put their trust in me to just be a personality, be this young kid that was excited about learning more about hip hop,
Yeah.
and they wanted a show that kind of explored Vancouver in a different way, and I was like, you know what, I'm a student and I love learning about hip hop, so why not, let's discover and give a platform to some of the amazing dance that's going on in my city. And yeah, we did 13 episodes. It was definitely like such a push creatively for me, trying to fill in 13 episodes of screen time and
Yeah.
like make it engaging with an audience. But in the end, I had such an amazing experience interacting with all the amazing guests, and learning more about the hip hop culture and the amazing community that was in my city that I never would have been able to explore had I not had the opportunity to have that show.
Yeah, I think
So.
that's a pretty amazing opportunity, especially at a young age. So, what was the show like? So, did you interviewed people? Did you also did you do some dancing on there?
Yeah, there was many segments of the show. So each show had one segment that was like kind of community and community
Mhm.
focused. So we would go out in the field and find somewhere in the community, whether it's a dance studio or an artist that we would kind of interview and interact with. We also had a set on at Shaw TV Towers where we'd bring in one guest each episode, and I would do a short interview. Another segment that we had, which was one of my favorites, was teaching dance. So I had
Yeah.
like a move of the day where I would teach a famous hip hop dance move to the audience, and at the end of the episode, there was also a kind of like a almost like a dance music video that I would do. So lots of different segments.
I mean, it sounds like a fun show. It's almost like a variety show.
It was fun. I'm one of those people that for a while wasn't able to like watch the things that I created, watching my dance videos, watching my own show. Like I hated it. I was like, oh, I'm so conceited watching this. But now like looking back on the show and getting the chance to rewatch it, many years later, I really do enjoy the things that I did back then, and I loved having that platform to express myself and learn more. So
Yeah, I think it's great, and I struggle too listening or watching myself, but I make myself do it because how else you going to know if there's things you could have fixed or maybe you do better if the opportunity comes up again.
Exactly.
Yeah, if they come to you and be like, we want to bring that show back, would you be in for that?
Oh my God, definitely. Yes. Like I would love to do it again, especially with what I know now and the experience that I have. Like I would change so many things about it, but also like I think some of that spark that I captured initially, like I would love to revisit that again. So
You could do it in LA now.
I could do it in LA. That's true.
I mean, usually they bring a show back, they got to change it slightly. So now they've given you a new location you can explore.
That'd be awesome. I'm gonna pitch it.
Yeah, I'm going to make some phone calls.
Yeah, you'll be my co-producer. Let's do
it. Yeah, bring in the guy that knows nothing about dance.
We'll do comic books and dance. We'll find a way.
We'll find a way. We'll make it entertaining.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we've got $1 million idea. We're
yes, we do.
It's there. So the show that most of my family knows you from is World of Dance. So how did that one come about? And was that I think that one may have been before you got on
Canada's
Got Talent?
Yes. Yeah. So that was one of the first kind of TV show contest experiences that we had. And that was a crazy experience. That was definitely like an eye opener for me because the challenges we faced and the obstacles that we had to overcome to even just get onto the show was kind of incredible. And I actually haven't told this story to anyone, but initially when we went, we were a group of 5.
Okay.
And we had an issue with one of our members. Long story short, they were unable to continue the competition just a day before we were about to take the stage.
Yeah, that's awful.
They had to push us into a different category. So we were in groups before, and they pushed us into the solo, duo, trios. And because we were a group of 4, they were like, okay, we're going to add quads onto this. But they didn't have any quads in the show. So we did our audition. We did a good job. And because we switched categories, we had like a day after flying back to Vancouver. We had a day to rehearse, and then we had to fly back to compete in the second round, having one rehearsal and having to create an entirely brand new routine for the second round. Not to mention all the other things that happened, like me getting food poisoning on the first day.
Oh no.
Oh my God.
What was the food? What did you eat?
I had a chicken pot pie.
Oh yeah.
From the grocery store, a frozen chicken pot pie. I don't know what happened, but I got so sick. I had it in Vancouver before I flew. And as soon as I touched down in LA, I got so sick and threw up all over the nice hotel's bed sheets and everything. So many different obstacles.
But you were still able to perform?
Still able to perform. And that's one thing that I learned was through that experience that just there are going to be things that happen. That's inevitable. With experiences like this, things are always going to happen, whether it's an injury, whether it's an issue with members or an issue with yourself. There's always some sort of barrier. And having that experience early on really geared me for all the things that were to come, like Canada's Got Talent, rehearsing through Zoom and having only 2 days of rehearsal coming back from LA before we flew out to Niagara Falls. But though that competition prepared me for these experiences, and that's why we did so much better on Canada's Got Talent. So I really think that even though it was a long and hard fought journey, that I really took something incredible away from it.
And that's all you can ask for. And especially those competition shows that are fairly new, you're not going to really know ahead of time what you're getting into till you're in the middle of it.
Yeah. Not to mention our studio brought a second team, Groovement, which is the team I competed on CGT with. They
Yeah.
came back in season 2. I got to help out with that team, but it was incredible watching their journey, and they made it even further than we did in the second season. So just really happy for that whole experience. And they were definitely like after that first experience, they were ready to go on the show again. So yeah, huge
Yeah,
shout out.
that's pretty great. That's pretty great. Do you prefer dancing with a group or dancing by yourself?
Oh, that's a great question because I've done both my entire life.
Yeah.
I've always been in a group and I've always been in a solo. And I think there's so many benefits from doing both. I think as a solo dancer, what I've been able to find is my own artistry, how I can speak for myself, something that as a dancer that I love doing. And I don't know if you know anything about freestyle or freestyle culture, but
A little, just from
literally,
watching my
yeah.
daughter with her stuff.
Yeah, but it's just like free form. So having moved to LA and finding my own path as a dancer, being a soloist and dancing by myself, I've been able to find what my own movement looks like and how I express myself
Yeah.
artistically. But there's also like something incredible about being in a team and having that bond and traveling and working and failing together and then overcoming that as a team. I've been a part of the same studio for like 17 years and the
Amazing.
kinds of experiences that I've had with my group, like they're literally my second family. They are like no, they're my first family. Like we're all so close and we grew up with each other and we yeah, and I think there's something incredible about bonding with a team like that over so
Yeah,
many years.
I think it's so rare to have those connections, those professional connections that you've had since you were a kid. I mean,
Yeah.
nobody does that.
Yeah.
You either have your childhood friends or you've got work friends that you met once you're an adult, but you combine them.
Yeah. It's truly like lightning in a bottle, like having friends that have stuck around that long. So
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty great. That's pretty great. What kind of musicians do you like? Is there somebody that you listen to and you're like, that one I could dance to?
yeah, there's so I mean, music is my everything. I love
Yeah.
as a dancer, it's the heartbeat of everything that we do. It's
Yeah.
what inspires us to move. Um, I listen to so many different genres of music as well because I practice different styles of dance and different styles of dance are born out of different musical genres that come from
Yeah.
different decades. If I had to say one right now that I'm really inspired by, it's a DJ called Black Coffee. His name is Black Coffee and he's
Yeah.
from South Africa. He makes incredible soulful house music, and that's another style that I've kind of delved deeper into since moving to LA and since studying at UCLA is
Yeah.
house dance, which is a style of dance that originated in Chicago and New York. And yeah, I've been.
What differentiates that?
What differentiates the different styles of hip hop?
Yeah. Of house dance, what makes it different
Yes.
from other dances?
So with each style of dance, even within the street dance umbrella, there are so many different styles that come from different cultures, different peoples.
Yeah.
So here in California, we have styles like locking and popping that started in the 70s.
Yep. Heard
Hip
of
hop
those.
started in
Yep.
New York City, right? Hip hop started in New York City in 1973. House dance comes a little bit later. So when the music started to shift in the 80s in Chicago and New York, so did the dancers. The dancers are going to the same clubs and they're like, "Oh, the music is changing. We're also going to change the way that we dance." And house dance is something that's infused with Latin dance, with African movements, with
Yeah.
capoeira, with salsa, ground
It's hard
movement.
not to move when you hear that type of music.
Oh yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, so I think falling in love with the music is something that happened first, and then eventually I learned more about the culture of dance at UCLA, and yeah, and I fell in love with it and love learning about it. So
Yeah, that's pretty great. I mean, you're in LA. Have you thought about, trying to be a dancer on a show or in a movie, so even if it's just
yeah.
background work?
Yeah, I recently actually just got signed to an agency out here in LA. It's called MSA. It's one of the big
Yeah.
agencies here. But I just graduated from UCLA, so a lot of my focus right now is being a professional dancer and also a teaching artist. So I balance both of those worlds. But yeah, I am currently doing. I just choreographed for a like music video. I've done a few music videos recently, and I also got booked to do a Rose Parade, the Tournament of Roses, which is
Right.
a New Year celebration in LA. But yeah, I'm always performing, always looking for different kinds of opportunities. Yeah, I one of the surreal moments for me was just last month. I booked a music video with Victoria Justice, which
Oh,
is she's an actor from the show Victorious,
oh
which
yeah, I know her. Yep.
Yeah, I've been watching since I was like 6 years old, or not
What did
six.
you get to work directly with her?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I got to be a dancer in a music video, one of four dancers, and yeah, we just spent the day being on set and in actually 2 days being on set, and it was a definitely a surreal moment because I was like, wow, this is someone that I've watched
Yeah.
from such a young age, and now having the chance to work with them, it was definitely a gratifying experience to know that my dance has taken me there.
Did they reach out to you or did you have to audition for it?
No, they actually reached the choreographer reached out to me, yeah,
Yeah.
and brought me onto the project.
That's awesome.
Yeah, really
Yeah.
cool.
I'm sure that was a fun day when they got a hold of you for that.
Definitely. Yeah, it was amazing. They took us to a beach house out in Topanga. I was like, wow, this is incredible. This is beautiful.
Well, and so I saw you're working as a adjudicator too. Is that right? What is that? Is that like a judge?
Yeah, I do a little bit of everything. So I've been teaching since I was 15, 16, and it's been a
Yeah.
huge passion of mine. But I also do tour as an adjudicator and a convention teacher. I tour with a few different companies like 5678 Showtime,
Yeah.
iDance, and also Dance World Cup. They're all Canadian-based companies, but they tour across North America. And having the chance to be involved in the Canadian dance scene and travel and see the different kinds of dance developing in
Yeah.
all different provinces has been something that's really incredible. I always think that like traveling is an education on its
It
on its
is.
own.
That's right.
Getting to experience the culture and the people and how people live their life is such an eye-opening experience, and I love doing that. So
Well, and the teaching aspect, I'm sure that gives you a chance to kind of pay it forward. Somebody taught you at some point. You're kind of passing that on. That has to be rewarding.
yeah, definitely. And I think as an educator, it's really important to pass on this culture that we've been blessed
Yeah.
with. I'm a guest to hip hop culture. We are only doing things that we have seen from others that have been passed down onto us, like you said. So in hip hop, we have this saying called each one teach one. So,
I like that.
somebody taught me, and we were going to pass on that culture and pass on that history and all of the things that we've learned and the amazing experiences that we've gained from this culture. We try to really pass that on and give that to others. So.
Yeah, hip hop's it's we're kind of celebrating the birth of hip hop the last
Yes.
year or two. It's been pretty nice.
Yeah, the 50th anniversary was just last year. It's 51 years old now, but an incredible 5 decades of culture, of
It's
global.
amazing that, and I guess I should know that I'm. Let's see, I'll be 55 in October, so I was a teenager in the 80s. I
Yeah.
was in college in the early 90s, and hip hop was, I was around when it was first starting
Yeah,
up,
I'm
and
sure.
and you got to see the whole thing, and of course that's what everybody was listening to because it was so different, so new, and it was all fast. So
Yeah.
got everybody, especially in college, you got everybody dancing.
Mhm.
Well, I should say it got most people dancing. This
How about I mean, that's some amazing insight that like I wasn't around at that time, so it's great hearing that. Did you ever get into some breaking or were
Well, let
you
me
just
tell you,
watching
this is
football?
this is my sad breaking story. So
Okay,
I'll
give it
tell
to
you this.
me.
It's not really sad. So breaking came out in like the early 80s, and I went to the movie and saw it,
Yeah.
and the dancing was terrific. That was great. But what struck me was the parachute pants that they were wearing. And, and I was like, I got to get me some of those pants.
Oh
So,
yeah.
so I started dressing that way. I had like different collared pants for each day of the week. That was my thing. And I was just in middle school. I was just a young guy. So I'm wearing that. But then at some point it dawned on me. I was like, well, what if somebody comes up to me and like challenges me to a dance off? Because I'm wearing the outfit.
Let's move, Michael.
I wore the outfits. I loved wearing them, but I was stressed out all the time
Yeah.
because people be walking toward me. I just turn the other way. I was like, I'm not taking that chance.
Not
Not
taking that
no
heat.
dance offs for me.
Dance battle on the streets. Lay down the cardboard, tape it up. All right, let's go. Me and you, Michael, one on one.
Now
Definitely.
the interesting fact is my brother, really good dancer.
Yeah.
He was the guy in high school that was always out on the dance floor surrounded by girls because there wasn't that many guys at a young age that would get out there. So he was always, out there. I was always very jealous of his younger brother, and I'm like,
Those moves. They're
What'd you think of breakdancing at the Olympics?
Oh man, it was awesome to watch. That's something that I've been like anticipating for a long time because
Yeah.
we heard about the announcement so long ago, and there was a lot of discourse about how it was going to be judged and who
Yeah.
was going to get to compete. But in the end, it was an amazing event. The winner on the men's side, Phil Wizard,
Yeah.
incredible dancer, but also from Vancouver, Canada. So I've had the chance to,
That's
see
right.
him and his journey starting out from afar. I don't know him that well, but hopefully we'll connect one day, I think. But yeah, I've had the chance to watch him since he was
Well,
also
yeah,
in
yeah.
high school, and
Two Vancouver guys, you should connect.
there's some great dancers from Vancouver, man. Yeah, we will connect. I'll send him a DM or something in the
You know,
future.
there's just artistically, Vancouver has a lot, music wise, dance wise, artist wise. It
Yeah.
seems like a very artistic kind of area.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's pretty great. Yeah, we had a good time watching breakdancing at the Olympics, and you got, of course, you had the woman from Australia,
Yep.
which
I knew that was
it,
gonna come up.
yeah. What's your take on that? Because I've heard her stuff where she's saying, people don't really understand the different styles and what she was trying to accomplish. But what are your thoughts on that?
You know what? As an artist myself, I'm never gonna bash an individual for their
Yeah,
journey and where they are in their dance. Do I think that she should have been representing her country on an Olympic stage? Maybe not. Maybe there are some things that we could do better in terms of like qualifying for those events. I heard
right.
some things that we could have done better at as an association, but I think the most damaging or pressing thing is the media coverage and how
Yeah,
they portrayed it and turning
agree.
that one moment into a punchline. Watching Jimmy Fallon, I think, did an episode where I don't know who he brought in, but they had like someone impersonating.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, and I
Yes.
was I was like, wow, this is they've turned this whole thing into a moment, and I think there's good and bad in that. Obviously, it's just one of those like trending articles, and it's gonna have its 15 minutes of fame. But I think what really is gonna come out of it in the long run is there's more eyeballs
Yeah.
on hip hop culture and on breaking. And I think that over time we'll be able to convert those people into people who are interested about the culture and interested about learning more. And I think in the long run, I think it's a good thing. So I'm
Yeah,
hoping
that's
as
well said. That's well said.
yeah,
And I hope that she uses the platform that she's been
right,
giving, because it could be a negative, and she could just kind of take it personal and not, but she's also in the spotlight. So if there's anything she wants to do, or if she wants to get something out there, now's her chance. She's got the
true. Yeah.
something. I'd always heard there's no bad publicity. I don't know that I agree with that,
Right.
but it does put you in the spotlight. So
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of what you make of it. But yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I think long term, only positive coming from.
I hope so. And I think as an educator, it's also my job to educate my youngins, my students to be like, hey, this is an amazing opportunity. And also for them, I think it's exciting to see like, hey, our form and our culture is being represented on the largest of stages, which is pretty cool as well. So
If you had the chance
yeah,
to compete at the Olympics or to coach somebody that's competing at the Olympics, what would you choose?
it it depends. I think for me, I'm only 23 years old, so I have to say competing because I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
in 4 years' time in LA, I'm going to be in my athletic prime. But unfortunately, hip hop or the breaking won't be coming back to the
I
Olympics.
know that seems so strange. Why put it in one and not have it for future ones? That doesn't make any
Yeah,
sense.
they do this bid, I think. So it was decided. I heard some news stories about like, oh, because of the controversy, they're not bringing it back, but that's untrue.
Yeah.
Yeah, they actually have a bid for it every year where they try to test out new different sports. And we so happened to win the bid for the Paris Olympics, but not the Los Angeles Olympics, which is weird because hip hop and breaking is
I
from
know
America.
it
So, like,
would
why not
fit
bring it
in
back home?
LA. Yeah, it would
Bring it
fit in
home.
LA. That one made no sense to me because that was my thought. I was like, that's where
Yeah.
hip hop, it started here.
Yeah, sure. I think it's cool, but at the same time, there are so many other like, incredible breaking events and battles happening constantly around the world that, I don't think that there is a need for the Olympics for this culture to continue. There are so many amazing big things happening with Red Bull going viral with their
Yeah,
battles and all the incredible dancers from all around the world. So yeah.
Are you still competing?
Yeah, I do. I still engage in battles. And yeah, I dance and compete all the time. I think most of my time right now is spent more taking classes and performing and doing projects and things
Yeah.
like that. But yeah, I love battle culture. I love battling. I love putting my my nerves and like I love going out to battles and dancing and
See, I
engaging in it.
needed you back when I was in high school, and then I'd be like, I've got my stand-in. So
Yeah.
I'm
Throw a
not
smoke
battling
bomb. I'll
you.
come through with I'll come through dressed like you, and
Well,
we'll get down
like they used to
body
do
double.
you could choose somebody, like if you got challenged to a duel, you could choose somebody to be your stand-in. You didn't have to do the duel.
Oh, really?
No, yeah. So I was like, that's what I needed.
Is it like the WWE, like tag me in, bro? Like, well, yeah, we'll do it like that.
I mean, it doesn't really make sense because it's like I'm challenging you to a dance. I may not want to challenge the guy that's going to stand in for you to dance.
Right. Yeah, that is a tricky situation. But we can
Well,
enter into
Travis,
more later.
thanks for taking a little bit of time.
Yeah, of course.
I've been watching some of your videos. I mean, you're a crazy talented dancer. It's like it was get my heart beating just watching you. I don't know how you do some of that stuff.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was pretty great. So, a couple little things though before I let you go, and you got to come back. You got to come back and kind of give us an update at some point.
Well, we got to do our live lesson.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we got a part 2 coming up. Yeah. It's gonna get 1 million views, but for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, for all the wrong reasons. Yeah. Epic dance fails. No, I
Maybe
think we'll
between us though, because you're an awesome dancer. I'm a terrible dancer, so maybe we'd just be average.
Oh, well, it's gonna be a reflection onto me because I'm also a teacher. So if you don't do well, then
That's true.
my fault. Yeah.
I just need to be like I think I need a group where it can kind of hide how bad a dancer I am, but then every once in a while I'll strike a pose.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'll bring my team. I'll bring my team on. We'll do something. Make you look real good. Don't worry. That's what we do, with artists and everything. We make them look.
That's
good.
Right. Yeah, that's a really good point actually.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. So, anything else that you're working on that we can keep an eye out for?
Yeah, there are a few things that, I'm doing here in LA that have been really incredible. One thing that I would just like to mention before we leave is my work with Universal. It's a teaching company that I'm associated with,
Yeah.
and also a performance company. And I'm one of the primary cast members for one of our shows called the Hope Show. And one thing that we do with the show is that we travel all across Los Angeles performing at different venues and schools and just continuing to push the culture of hip hop and our main message of peace, love, unity, and hope is something that we, try to bring into every single show. So yeah, if there's one thing that I would love to leave the audience with is just that some of that curiosity to learn more about hip hop.
Yeah.
And to learn more about this beautiful culture. So
I
yeah.
love that. What's that been like going into the schools? What kind of reception you getting?
It's been incredible. We've gotten the chance to dance in front of like all different ages, from elementary to high school to even seniors. And one moment that I can recall that was so incredible, we are a very diverse performing company. So
Yeah.
after actually, this was my very first performance with the company. And we got off stage, and one of the students came up to us. She was only, I think, maybe in grade 3. And she was like, it was amazing seeing dancers on stage that look like us. And she was she was
Love
a
that.
young Latino girl, and it was seeing like multi-ethnic artists
Yeah.
representing style and culture on stage it was really touching. And I was like, from that moment on, I was like, wow, this is something that I want to continue doing, because if we can just get one student from every show to see the possibilities of what they can do, I've been inspired by so many Asian Canadian dancers who, when I watched, I was like, I can do that too. And I would love to just continue doing that and spreading that message.
I mean, you never know what kind of impact you're going to have. I mean, a few years down the road, you might see that little girl dancing, something. That's amazing.
Yeah, we all have those stories of like the moment where we found, our passion, or we found something that inspired us to continue learning more and researching on something. So yeah,
I love that.
I
Good
can
for
do more of
you.
that. Yeah.
So, okay. So last thing, Travis, where can we find you on social media?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram and Facebook. My Instagram is Travis_Lim_ENT, and my Facebook page is Travis Lim Entertainment. You can also find me on TikTok, but my TikTok is under construction. I'm working on it, but it's at Travi_Lim, TRAVY.
You should definitely have a TikTok.
Yeah, I do. I used to post. The reason why I say under construction is because I used to post a lot of TikToks, more comedy TikToks, and I built up quite a following. I have like 40,000 followers.
Oh, that's
But
pretty
then I'm
good.
like, I'm like shifting my image and my brand to be more dance content. So I took down all my like comedy videos because some of them were very interesting. So they were young Travis. So yeah.
Well, so has it hurt your following switching to dance?
No, no, I've always had a dance brand. I've always done
Okay,
dance
okay,
related
okay. So you're
content.
just adding on. You're just
Yeah.
taking out some of the younger stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I did a little bit of a clean out. In the closet.
Yeah, I've talked to my son Brett about that with us because when we started podcasting, it was
Mm.
terrible. I mean, we had no clue what we were doing. We didn't do any video. We were just we were interviewing people by phone, and we were just holding the phone up to a microphone. It was terrible. It's
That's
terrible.
awesome.
But eventually we figured it out. But we've always just left that stuff out there. I was like, let them see where we came from.
That's the amazing thing though. Yeah, like just going back and seeing that journey and all the lessons that you've learned to get to this point now with the amazing background that you have, like and this setup right here.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you about this background and then I'll let you go.
Yeah, I want to know more about it.
Yeah, so I don't have very many ideas. I'm not a creative guy. That's just not me. But
Mm.
I was like, I knew I wanted the name MeisterCon because when we started, we were just a meme page, on Facebook, and that was kind of our brand. And then 5 years after the meme page, we spread out to podcasting.
Yeah.
So my favorite Christmas show growing up was Santa Claus is Coming to Town, which was a claymation Christmas special.
Yep.
And the
Nice.
bad guy in it was called Meister Burgermeister.
Meister
And I,
Burger.
and I just took Meister from it. I was like, Meister. So I put that. And then I'm a big Star Trek fan. So Star Trek 2, Wrath of Khan, that's where the Khan comes from. So it's Meister Khan. I was like, nobody's going to have this name. So I put that up. So then I was like, we need a picture, a background. And we needed it because when we started the podcast, we were just operating out of our bedroom. Now we're in a studio, but at the time it was just our bed in the background. We're like, we got to put something up. I was like, I just want a bunch of characters looking like they're yelling Khan, like William Shatner does in the movie where he yells, Khan,
Yeah.
Khan.
Yeah,
I was like, I just want everybody
Oh,
looking like they're yelling Khan. So
that's awesome.
that's the.
I was wondering why everyone's mouth was open like that. Yeah. There's definitely I think if we were to vocalize that, there would definitely be some interesting intonations happening.
Oh yeah. Well,
Can you do
if I was
voice?
good at Photoshop, and I'm not, I had somebody do this for me. Like when I had a guest on, I'd throw them in there. But
Really? That's super cool.
yeah, that'd be really cool. But yeah.
Can you do a Chewbacca voice? Can you do a Khan in a Chewbacca
I
voice?
cannot. Can you do that?
No, not at all. I don't know why I asked that.
Yeah. Now I feel like I need to find somebody that can do one.
Yeah, that'd be so cool. Actually, yeah, as like do you have an audio intro, right?
Yeah, I got an audio intro. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool. I was looking, I'm like, I don't think I've had any of these people on the podcast yet. So
You got it going, yeah.
I got some work to do.
Yeah. You'll bring that shark into the next episode.
Gotta get that shark on there.
Yeah, you just go to your local aquarium. Look, we got the shark.
Yeah. Maybe I'll just dress up as the shark and do the interview as the shark.
There you go. Yeah.
My when I was in kindergarten, I've still got the newspaper article, but we used to do the Halloween parades through town, and my mother made me a homemade shark costume, and it was pretty good. I mean, at that time, Jaws had probably just come out, so it was probably late 70s when she made that. So it was basically a Jaws costume, but it was pretty well done.
Hang on. You know what? I actually haven't seen Jaws. I haven't seen Jaws and I haven't seen Star Trek. I know.
Oh
You're
my
gonna
God.
freak out. But the next time we do the next time we do this podcast, I'll have seen Star Trek. I'm 100%.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, that when we do our sequel with me dancing, the least you could do is watch Star Trek.
Exactly. Yes. I'm actually gonna do that. I'll put that on my list. I have a list of movies I'm meaning to watch. So
Well, there's certain movies, especially from the 80s and 90s, that you
yeah.
have to watch or you're going to miss all the references.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch the whole thing. I'm in it. When I watch the entire MCU, it's like 27 movies. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna do the same with
That's
Star
right.
Trek.
That's right.
Do I
You
start at the very
your
beginning?
commitment. What's
Do I
that?
start at the very, very beginning? The first one?
Yeah. I
What's
mean,
the
if
first
it
one called?
depends. Here's the thing. If you just watch the movies, that's a lot.
Yeah.
But if you want to watch all of it, you're
You're
going to
right.
be busy for a while because there's so many
Uh,
TV shows.
Hey, I'm down. I'm into it. I got
Like
I
you
can
could just watch the movies, which started with the original cast and then went to
okay.
next generation cast. You could just watch those and you wouldn't be lost. You'd be okay.
Okay.
But if you really wanted to get into the nitty gritty, then you've got, 7 seasons of all these different shows. It's, you're
I
probably talking 30 seasons
I
of
watch
Star
some
Trek.
pretty long animes that are like thousands of episodes long, so I think I can do it.
All right, now I've got one more question before I let you
Yeah.
go. Did you watch One Piece?
I knew you were gonna say that as soon as I mentioned anime.
Yeah.
I am currently on episode 274,
Oh,
but
that's impressive because I love the live action. I really enjoyed it, and I was like,
yeah,
I'm going to watch the anime. There's like 1,100 episodes.
there's so many episodes. I'm working my way through it. Like I do like one episode a week, and I do it at 1.25 speed. That's the trick. You gotta get like a browser extension to watch on hyper speed because there's too many episodes to try to
That's
justify that
actually smart.
time.
My wife, she does the audio books. That's how she does it. But she does it at 2.5 times the speed, and it's so fast. It just sounds like gibberish to me. But that's how she listens.
She's got some processing power.
Yeah. Well, and she's gradually increased it to where now she can understand it. But it's one of those that if anything distracts her, she's lost immediately because it takes a lot to follow when it's that fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I listen to audio podcasts in the car, so
Yeah.
some of your podcasts in the car too when I'm driving.
I appreciate that.
2-3 hours a day. I can knock out an episode a day. I'll come back to you in 800 days when I've listened to all your podcasts.
That'd be a good social experience to
Yeah.
see or experiment to see how you looked at the end of watching 800 some episodes of me.
Yeah. I think I'll probably look and sound and act like you at the end of it.
I was gonna say maybe you'll have a West Virginia accent.
Yeah, I'll have the twang at the end of it.
All right, Travis, hold on one second. Travis Lim, and let me tell you, I did not do him justice. He is a fantastic dancer. I mean, like out of this world dancer. He's crazy, crazy talented. If you get a chance to check him out, and definitely please look him up. It's impressive, especially if you're a fan of hip hop. It's amazing. Look up his dance troupe on Canada's Got Talent. That was a fun one. That was a fun one to watch, and also on World of Dance, which I think that was NBC, but absolutely fantastic. He's a talented young man, well spoken. I can see why they let him have his own TV show. He comes across as genuine and passionate, and he's much better spoken than this mess of an accent that gets stuck and clogged up in my mouth. He does a terrific job. So please support Travis. I know we're going to see so much more from him. Just it's fun talking with people that are passionate about something. So I'm just blessed that I get to do this every day. just amazing, amazing. Hope you enjoyed that. If you're a dance fan, we have had several episodes about dancing or about a certain dancer, so definitely check that out. It's probably time. I've probably had enough of them now. I need to do a playlist, and that'll make it easy for you to find. So I'll work on that. If you're finding us for the first time, thank you for being here. So happy. Definitely don't take you for granted. We definitely need your support. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. Please subscribe. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. Really helps us out. Helps us to bring these great guests on the program. Our website is meistercon.com. You can find out if we're doing something in studio, if we're going on location, for covering a convention. You know, if I'm going out to LA to let Travis try to teach me to dance, all that'll be on the website. Plus, you get all of our episodes, which right now I put out number 839 today. So you get all of those audio and video versions on the website, meistercon.com. So please check us out there. Thank you guys so much. Till next time. Bye, everybody.